everyone, it's Linda. I'm going to be bringing you a couple of tips today on how to connect within your heart space so that you can bring meditation out into your daily living so that ultimately everything becomes a walking, breathing, current, in the now moment type of meditation. I've had a few people in the last few sessions that I've had and in my real life actually tell me that they've got a hard time learning how to connect, or meditation is too difficult. And I'll be completely honest with you. It is difficult to sit down unless you're choosing to make it a discipline, just like any other discipline, like going to the gym or making a nutritional change in your life or anything like that. It is difficult if you say it's difficult, but really, who has time to sit for hours in meditation? And if you're doing that and you're having good experiences, wonderful, you know the benefits. But for those of you that have tried and know it's good and just can't seem to find the time for it, one of the best things that you can do for yourself is to take a few minutes, and I mentioned this in my last video that I just did a few days ago. It's to take a few minutes, it can even be a few seconds, and just breathe. Breathing is going to be what's going to slow down. Slow, conscious breath is going to slow down the thoughts. It's going to help you reground. It's going to help you realign, recenter yourself and your thoughts and everything, and bring that whole into your heart space. So some people laugh at that and think, how can I breathe and be meditating? It comes down to mindfulness. And if you've never delved in that practice, discipline, or study otherwise and learned about mindfulness, I will just tell you in a nutshell, just a nutshell today. If you are doing the dishes, if you're taking the trash out, if you're cleaning up poo on the floor, if you're scooping kitty litter, if you're, Windexing your mirrors or your windows, if you're doing laundry, everything can be done in a state of mindfulness so that this chore or responsibility or act of whatever it is you're doing isn't so much of that. It's not something you got to do. It just becomes what you are doing. And when you're fully present in anything that you are doing, when you can bring a sense of mindfulness to it, you are, in fact, bringing your meditation into your now moment. And that can help you with, if anyone out there has knee-jerk reaction issues, challenges, triggers, if anybody has emotional triggers, especially with, certain cycles, times of the month, or moon phases, cycles of the moon, planetary alignments, things that trigger your emotions, this can help with that too. So what you want to do is you want to take a couple of breaths, but when you're breathing in, you don't have to do it through your nose, out through your mouth, although that's helpful. You can still just take a breath. It can be in and out through your nose. I naturally do it in my nose and out my breath when I'm clearing because it's just the way I do it. When you're doing this, if you have a focus issue or you think you have an ADD or ADHD or concentration or focus issue, what you can do to start with this is breathe and count your in-breath. Let's say you count for a count of 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4 as you're breathing in. Hold it for 1 second, and then when you breathe out, consciously breathe out twice as long as you breathed in. So if you're breathing in for 4, breathe out for 8. And don't be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or don't do it fast. Try to deliberately just count to pick a certain number that you can double, like an even number, 3 and 6, or 4 and 8, or 5 and 10. Try to pick a number that you can time to your in-breath on the small number, and then on your out-breath, make it twice as long as your in-breath. See, this practice will help you, even if you do, a set of 3. Great. you'll see how physically you feel better, because on the first breath, you're just trying to get the cycle down. On the second breath, you're kind of centering again, and you're bringing your focus right into counting the numbers. There's a purpose behind that. And on your third breath, you can start to connect with your body, and you can physically feel your shoulders starting to drop and relax. Then you'll notice that your belly muscles will kind of relax and soften. And try it for 4 or 5 breaths. You'll notice at the end of, what would that take you? Maybe 2 minutes? And you can do this every morning. I just told a client the other day, once she's really dedicated to getting into the practice of this, set an alarm so that every hour or every 2 hours it says breathe. And then when you get that, no matter where you are, you just stop for the cycle. Everything else is put on a shelf, and you just consciously breathe. And you're reminding yourself. So you'll be honing in on your focusing and concentration skills. And you do not count out loud. You count with your internal voice, because then you're getting used to hearing your internal voice, which then eventually will become connected with your higher self, and you'll hear that voice. That voice will get reflected back to you, and it will be that familiar energetic signature that you'll get to be able to identify, so you won't be wondering, is this my thought, or is this thought coming from somewhere, something else? You'll know your own energy frequency because you'll have been doing this practice. And that's a really good thing, to get to know yourself better. And as you're getting to know yourself, you'll get to know what the signals are. And it's just like anything else. If you start off with practicing with the alarms, or the alarms and every time you go to the bathroom, if you're clear, I used to just save this and teach my students this. And every student or every meditation or healing class that I've ever taught, I've taught all of my students the same thing. And I've been telling people in sessions the same thing now. So I'm going to tell you, when you go to the bathroom, you're cleansing your physical body. So why not cleanse your energy body too at the same time? So if you're in the bathroom and it's a real quick going out, okay, well, you still breathe when you're going physically. So why not breathe in light during that time? Why not be consciously integrating your energy body with your physical body by realigning and cleansing, by consciously breathing and bringing in that light, bringing it up through the earth, bringing it down through your crown, bringing it into your heart? Or just visualize that it's like a shower coming down on the top of your head, and every droplet of water is liquid light, because I see energy as liquid light when I'm seeing it, and it moves with your breath. That's my experience. So your experience might be a little different, but I feel energy as liquid light. So if you are on the toilet and you're doing your business physically, that's the perfect time to remind yourself you're cleansing your body. Cleanse all your bodies, or at least cleanse a few of the bodies, not just one. And you don't need to be thinking about anything else when you're going to the bathroom, because that's your private time. So I don't want to hear the excuse anymore from anybody that you don't have time to meditate, because you do. Every time you go to the bathroom, you can make that a meditation, but it's a clearing, healing meditation. See, the trick is that the more you do this, and I'm not implying to go to the bathroom more, but the more that you do this, the more frequently you'll be reminded to do it. Because when you start to feel a little off, or you start to feel like you're sinking in density a little bit, which means your frequency starts to lower, you might start to feel ornery or hangry or annoyed, or something emotional might trigger you. That's when you're going to start setting up your own signposts of reminders to go within again. And how do you do that? Well, through repetition, through practice. It's the only way to do it if you've never done it. If you're already doing it, then, good for you. Keep going and teach people this. Spread your technique. This isn't the only technique. This is my technique. This is what I've taught. But everybody is going to develop their own technique for having the discipline to remind themselves to breathe. And eventually what happens is you just automatically know to take a breath, because you start to feel like, it's like if your energy's, you want to be like up here, and if your energy starts to sink down here, as soon as you hit a certain threshold and it sinks below that, it's like an automatic reminder, breathe, breathe. And you can just, with a thought, a few breaths, a few thoughts, maybe one thought, and multiple breaths. Who knows? I can do it in one thought, one breath, because, and sometimes I need more than that. But frequently, when you take a conscious breath, in, hold it, and breathing out twice as long as you breathe in, you'll feel everything calming down, realigning, rerouting, centering yourself. You feel that inner connection again. So give that a try, and eventually you'll be finding yourself more in that state of beautiful, blissful alignment, regardless of what is going on. You're still going to have your daily functions. You're still going to have the storms going on around you. You're still going to be seeing things, inputting sensory input. You're still going to have experiences that are going to trigger and challenge and, everything, test and however you want to see it. That's still going to happen. But you're going to feel more like you're starting to get ready to stand up on the surfboard instead of just riding on your belly. The fact that you're on the surfboard is good for you, because you wouldn't even be watching this video if you weren't ready to catch the wave and ride it. So now it might be time to start to try to stand up a little bit, like spread your wings a little bit and give it a shot. So anyone who is struggling with that, I hope this helps. I hope that you can set your reminders on your cell phone or any other way, so that if you haven't been reminded yet to breathe and you don't know why that's so important, maybe now you do, because that will lead to more things. That is your meditation. Your breath is your meditation, and it's something that you can consciously do. So more power to you. Peace, love, light, and blessings, everyone.